Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Arif Fauzan bin Muhammad Saleh. My number metric is AF190138. Today, I want to present about our group project is contract and estimation. I am from group 7 and I have 5 people in my group. Okay, the first slide, we go to the biodata of our group. And the firstly, we have Saiful Azri bin Rahmat. And the secondly, we have Muhammad Arif Fauzan bin Muhammad Saleh, that is me. So, we have Muhammad Azizi bin Masto. The next, we have Muhammad Aziz Ikhwan bin Adnan. And then lastly, we have Muhammad Aziz Daniel bin Rais Bambang Noto Kusumo. So, this is 5 people of my group. After that, I want to introduce you about our company's profile. My name of my company is 5 Teguh Bina Sdn Bhd. My company since 23 September 2019 and we are located in Batu Pahat, Johor. Our companies have built to develop the construction in civil engineering works in contract construction building. Our job scope of our companies is building house, like single story, double story, and a landscape. We also do the roadworks and maintenance of the buildings. Our company have already operating in 3 years with small project. And the objective of this company is to ensure that construction projects are executed effectively within the limitation of the highest quality, state, period, and the lowest cost achievable. Okay, the next slide, we go to the organization chart of 5 Teguh Bina Sdn Bhd. And we have Encik Nik Muhammad Zaini bin Nixo, that is CEO of 5 Teguh Bina Sdn Bhd. After that, we have manager of the 5 Teguh, that is Muhammad Arif Fauzan bin Muhammad Saleh. We also have architect, that is Saiful Azri, and quantity surveyor, that is Muhammad Azizi bin Mastor. After that, the construction manager of our 5 Teguh Bina Sdn Bhd is Muhammad Aziz Ikhwan bin Adnan, and the infrastructure engineer of this company, that is Muhammad Haziq Daniel.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Saiful Azri bin Rahmat, AF190062, and today I will talk about our structural drawing for our building. The building that we want to build in Pari Raja Batu Pahat is a single-story building, 1 living room and 3 bedroom with 2 toilet, a kitchen and a dining room. So this is our floor plan, which I said we have a 3 bedroom and 2 toilet. Next, on the left side you can see our front elevation of the house, and on the right side you can see the left side elevation of the house and the right side elevation of the house. So next I will talk about the taking off. Firstly, excavation of topsoil. The excavated topsoil for preservation average 100 meter deep is 22.56 meter square, and deep preserved topsoil in a temporary soil heaps average 10 meter distance is 2.26 meter square. Next, excavation to reduce level maximum depth not exceeding 250 mm, and remove excavation material from the site is 5.64 meter cube. Excavation of pad footing. The excavation pit to receive column base starting from reduced level max depth not exceed 1 meter and filling to excavation with material arising from excavation is 0.92 meter cube. Extra overpit excavation for excavating in rock is 0.0692 meter cube. Next, the excavation of trench for ground beam. To receive ground beam starting from reduced level not exceeding 0.25 meter and remove excavated material from site is 0.74 meter cube. Extra over trench excavation from excavating in rock is 0.07 meter cube. So next, for blinding and concrete on the column base, the concrete grade C15 blinding not exceeding 100 mm thick, laid on earth and remove excavated material from site and deduct filling to excavation with material arising from excavation is 0.04 meter cube. Reinforced in situ concrete grade C30 is in isolated foundation base and remove excavated material from site and deduct filling to excavation with material arising from excavation is 0.17 meter cube. Reinforced in situ concrete grade C30 in isolated column stump is 0.16 meter cube. Next, for blending to ground beam, the concrete grade C15 blending not exceeding 100 mm thick laid on earth is 0.18 meter cube, and the reinforced in situ concrete grade C30 in ground beam is 1.84 meter cube. Next, for the formwork for the column stump is side of isolated column stump is 3.20 meter square. For the foundation and beds, formwork to edge and faces of foundation exceed 250 mm and not exceeding 500 mm height is 7.76 meter, and the formwork to ground beam exceed 250 mm and not exceed 500 mm height is 36.80 meter. For the steel reinforcement, for the column stump and link, we have the same value, which is 60 mm diameter height steel in straight and bend bars. In isolated column stump is 29.28 meter. For pad footing, 12 mm diameter height steel reinforcement in straight and bend bar foundation is 34 meter, while for the ground beam is 79.04 meter. Last but not least, for steel reinforcement is stirrups. 8 mm diameter mild steel reinforcement in stirrup in foundation ground beam is 132.16 meter. Last but not least, the hardcore and damp-proof membrane. Filling to make up level average 100 mm thick with hardcore of clean hard broken stone obtained off-site and polyethylene not less than 1000 gauge horizontal damp-proof membrane lap 0.10 meter. At joints laid on hardcore is 18.86 meter square. Concrete grade 30 in bed 100 to 150 mm thick laid on hardcore is 9.36 meter cube. For build up rate for 1 meter cube excavation work, the total excavation for manually cost for trench for every 1 meter cube is 10 ringgit and 30 cent, while for the machinery, the total excavation cost for trench for every 1 meter cube is 5 ringgit 4 cents.
Okay, for build of quantities for our project, for work below lowest floor finish, for excavation, the maximum depth is not exceeding 1.5 meter, and the quantity is 50 meter cube, and the rate is 100, and the total is 5,000. Okay, next is also work below lowest floor, but for concrete work. For pad footing, the diameter is 10 mm diameter, straight and bend. The amount is 86 kg, the rate is 3, and the total is 258. For column stump, there are two, 10 meter diameter, straight and bend. The amount is 39 kg, the rate is 3, and the total is 117. For 6 mm diameter, link all the lights, the amount is 50 kg, the rate is 1, so the total is 50. Okay, next is for ground beam. Ground beam also have two, 10 mm and 12 mm and 10 mm diameter. For 12 mm diameter straight and bend, the amount is the quantity is 75 kg. The rate is 4 and the total is 300. Okay, next is 10 mm diameter, link all the lights. The quantity is 64 kg. The rate is 3 and the total is 192. Okay, for the roof beam, for 10 mm diameter straight and bend, the quantity is 68 kg. The rate is 3, so the total is 204. For 6 mm diameter, link all the light, the quantity is 80 kg, and then the rate is 1, so the total is 80. Okay, for the ground floor slab, the quantity is 31 meter cube and meter square. The rate is 8, and the total is 248. Okay, the next one is size of column stump. We take 10 meter square and the rate is 8, the total is 80. So the roof slab, for roof slab, the quantity is 32 meter square and the rate is 8, so the total is 256. Okay, for waterproofing and outspat work,
dam proofing and tanking. Dam proof membrane as specified, covering is one layer of polythene sheet as specified, over 300 mm wide, flat, and subsequently covered. The quantity is 24 meters square and the rate is 5, and the total is 120. Next is frame for in situ concrete. For column, the quantity is 5 meter cube. The rate is 231. So the total is 1,105. Okay. Next is for floor beam. Floor beam is we take 1 meter cube. The total is 231. Okay. So the next is roof beam. Also same as the floor beam, only 1 meter cube. The rate is 231, so the total is 231. Next is ground floor slab. The quantity is 4 meter cube. The rate is 231. So the total is for ground floor slab is 884. Okay, next is flat floor slab, also same as ground floor slab. The total is 884. Okay, next is external and internal wall. For brickwork, for wall, half brick thick structure bond. The quantity is 28 meter square. The rate is 0.5. The total is 14. Next is the finishes. Okay, first one is skim coat for entire interior wall. The quantity is 28 meter square. The rate is 19.5. The total is 546. Next is wall painting. Wall painting is we take 56 meter square. The rate is 20. So the total is 1,120. For door painting, 17 meter square. The rate is 13. The total is 221. For ceramic tile for the floor, we take 24 meter square. The rate is 24, and then the total amount is 576. Okay, next is window, vents, and external door. Okay, so for wooden door, we only take for 4 units, which is the rate is 300 and the total is 1,200. Okay, for windows, there are a lot of size of windows. For the first one is 955 times 1,200. We only take 4 units. The total is 1,240. Okay, next is window with 1,040 times 1,200. We take only 3 units. The total is 990. Next is for the window 1,025 times 1,200. We will take 4 units. The total is 1,280. Last one is aluminum window with 947 mm times 1,200. We take only 3 units and the total is 900. So for bill quantity, the total amount is 18,209. Okay, next is for breakdown of cost project. First is external and internal wall. There are 4 manpower for this one, and then day is 5 days. The rate is RM 65 ringgit, and the total is RM 1,300. Next is tiles and paint. The manpower is 3. Days is 4. The rate is RM 90 ringgit. So the total is RM 228. Next is windows and door. The manpower is 2. The days 4. The rate is RM 65. The total is 520. For excavation and earthwork excavation, the manpower is 4. Days is 5 days. Then the rate is RM 65. So the total is RM 1,300. Next is work below lowest floor finish. Also, the manpower is only 4. Days is 7 days. The rate is RM 65. So the total amount is RM 1,820. Last one is frame. Manpower is 3. This is 7 days. The rate is RM 65. And the total is 1,365. So the total for breakdown of cost project is RM 6,533.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Azizi bin Masto. My metric number is AF190-178. Next, I'm gonna explain about flow area method and volume building method. So here are the diagram for our project for the calculation for flow area method and volume building method. And the thickness brick wall is 200 mm, and the length and width for the brick wall is 5,200 mm and 4,500 mm, and the flat roof is 600 mm and the height is 2,400 mm. So for the flow area method, the area of building, the formula is length multiplied by width. So the length of the brick wall is 4.5 meter. Subtract by 2 times 0.2 over 2. That is because it has we have to subtract the left and right to get the exact value, and times by 5.2 minus 2 multiple 0.2 divided by 2, and we get the answer is 21.5 meter square. And the total cost, that is the formula, is cost per square meter times area of buildings. That is for our cost is 318 ringgit Malaysia times 21.5 meter square, and we get the final answer, that is 6,837 ringgit Malaysia. For the building volume method, the formula is length times width times height. So the formula is 4.5 for length, 4.5 plus 2 times 0.2 over 2 times 5.2 plus 2 times 0.2 over 2, and for the height, that we know that is 2.4 meter, and we add 1.385 and 0.6 for the flat roof, and we got the answer is 13.685 meter cube. And for the total cost, the formula is cost per unit volume times volume of building, and we get the final answer is 36,461.275 ringgit Malaysia. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haziq Daniel. My metric number is AF190106. So in this part, which is the last part of our presentation, I will talk about the conclusion of this project. So in this project, our group will be asked to propose a single-story house, which is a affordable house that will be located at Parit Raja, Batu Pahat, Johor. So based on this work process, we all find out that calculating a single-story house will involve many factors, but in our study, it will indicate that quantity measurement and bill of material are crucial to the project. So, any detail that related to the construction need to be calculated. calculation must be made for all construction related details, and all the materials we must know and find a suitable material for this project. So the aim and the main purpose purpose for this project is to calculate the real cost to avoid from waste of money and waste of material. So in this project, we do the bill of quantity to enable all construction tenders to quote and exact same information from the contract. So in this frequently used to post tender tasks including material planning, construction scheduling, cost analysis, and cost planning. Building project material and manpower requirement are precisely measured using the quantity management. During the pre-construction stage, an estimator creates them. There are a lot of pros of this project during the build quantity. So the construction scope is formatted using the matrix to discover the amount, estimate, exam, model, specification, and drawing. Expert estimators have created methods to aid them in quantifying their effort. Numerous initiatives have been created to support the effectiveness of this method. In this conclusion, the cost of the project must be given top importance while creating a structure, since it will estimate the total cost of the project and serve a benchmark to ensure that it stays within budget. We must plan first before we do anything to build house because this thing will we cannot see the small things, which mean this matter we cannot assume as a small matter, which is it is not some kind of easy thing that we cannot avoid or just go pass through. This bill of quantity can show you how much your house costs and when it will finish on time or not.
So that's all from our group. Hopefully doctor will understand. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.